Guys, did you know that my favorite hormone, testosterone, starts to decrease in males around the age of 30, and production continues to drop around 1% per year? That's why our friends at Roman have formulated their own supplements with transparent and scientifically backed ingredients to support testosterone production. Roman's testosterone supplement is for anyone who wants to support their own body's natural function. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/Chael. You're going to get $15 off your first order with free 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/Chael.
Hey, Chael. So, I listen to your show. I'm a fan of yours. I've been a fan for a long time. I like your insights, like the things you got to say. But sometimes, man, I disagree with you. I didn't think you was going to do it, but you did it, man. How dare you justify Conor fighting in a 155-pound contest, weighing 170, right? Him and Cowboy agreed to fight at 170 because they didn't want to cut weight. They didn't want to make 155. But the fight had 155 implications. It affected the 155-pound rankings. Conor moved, I think other guys moved. I think it affected 155. Dana White said it out of his own mouth. If Conor beats Cerrone, he's fighting Khabib again. He's going to fight for that title again. The winner of Khabib and Tony is definitely 155 pounds implicated in that contest. I knew it was going to stir up some shit. I knew that was going to make other guys go, you know what? If he doesn't got to cut weight, I ain't got to cut weight. And when Dustin Poirier called out Quinta at 170, he said, hey, let's just do it at 170. Shit, if Conor could fight and not make 155 up until the title fight, let's just always fight at 170. And then when it's time for the title match, I'll make 155. A lot of guys feel that way, bro. There's a lot of guys at 155 that are like, that's a good idea. If I don't got to make 155 fighting throughout the rankings and then make 155 for the title match, it's just opened up a bag of worms, can of worms, whatever you want to call it. It was just bad for the sport, man. If you're going to fight at 170, you need to be fighting at 170 to have some type of foot in that division. If you're going to fight at 155 and try to fight for that 155-pound title, you should fight every fight at 155. It's like if a guy has trouble making 125 and just beats up 10 guys at 135 and just fights for the 125 belt. It's just not fair to the guys, the journeyman at 125, making 125, you know? I mean, hey, come on, bro. Don't justify Conor doing it and then, kind of say, oh, man, I need a reason for Poirier to do it. Conor didn't have a reason either. His reason was, I just don't want to cut weight. And we all know it. Come on, Che.
I must say, I think you've got this wrong. I think you have me wrong. If I ever said, which I don't believe I did, but if you go back and find it, go, Chael, you did. If I ever said that I thought that it made sense to put Conor and Cowboy at 170, but allow that to qualify at 155, if I ever said that, I misspoke. Because I don't believe that. Now, I came out and told everybody what was happening, and I'm right to do that. That is what happened. That is exactly what happened. The situation was slightly different, though, in all fairness. Okay? Conor McGregor was supposed to be fighting for a world championship. And when I say supposed to be fighting for a world championship, I mean Conor McGregor on any given day is the number one contender. He's an interim world champion. He's a featherweight world champion. He's a lightweight world champion. There's not really much of a way to argue around Conor. What had happened in this scenario is Conor was out. And not only out from training and out from the sport, he wasn't even licensed. Nobody knew if Conor was even going to come back. And by the way, when he does come back, he's got to restart the process from step one. The only thing Conor had in his favor was he stayed in the USADA pool. Everything, he literally had to go out, file paperwork, and get a license. So when Conor comes back, at the same time, you've got another rising star named Tony Ferguson, who was more than deserving of an opportunity which was given to him. So when you've got Tony and you've got Khabib, but everybody that has any level of fairness scratches their head and goes, look, Conor McGregor, who has 3 world championships. So many people call Conor champ, including Conor. Conor has 3 world championships. For some reason, we're all acting like the interim title never happened. It did happen. I watched it happen over a great opponent named Chad Mendes. Only reason I bring that up. It is a little bit different when we can all concede that Conor could be placed in a world title fight opposite Tony, should he beat Khabib, or opposite Khabib, should he beat Tony. Conor could slide right into that spot. And yeah, you're going to have some feelings hurt. You're going to hear from the Kevin Lees, and you're going to hear from the Justin Gaethjes, and all of these guys are going to be very fair. But the fans and the masses as a whole, after we debate and shout, point fingers at one another, are going to have to come away and go, hey, listen, that guy still got 3 world championships. That's still Conor McGregor, and he still gets to cut the line. Ultimately, that is the way that argument is going to be settled. And the only reason I bring that up is because if you agree with what I just said, then you are acknowledging that Conor McGregor can step into a world title fight without fighting anybody. So the mere fact that he did come back, did get a fight, did show everybody how serious, how committed, and reminded everybody of just how good he is, okay, great. The fact that he did that at 170, okay, great. He was going to slide into that spot at 155 anyway. I think that a little bit of the miss came by the attempt to explain how they're going to fight at 170 and qualify at 155, instead of just coming out and going, Conor's already the guy at 155. He's already the guy. So we don't have to imagine that this is a ranking match in this division while happening in this division. We don't need to imagine that. Just go enjoy the fight. One's got nothing to do with that, the other. Conor McGregor will be fighting the winner of Khabib and Tony. And then we could have had a hard stop. We could have stopped right there and laid out. And I do agree with you. It appears that the boys in the back are now seeing a precedent set here. I think reminiscent of the fact that Poirier has now called out Al Iaquinta. Now, I got no problem with those two fighting each other. I hope it happens. I love the whole thing. I just know Poirier. And I know what Poirier's goal is, which is to get back his world championship. I just happen to know Al Iaquinta. And I happen to know what Al's goal is, which to get back his number one contendership and go fight for a world championship. And I will suggest, which I think is what you're suggesting too, I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're in a fake argument right now. I'm pretty sure you and I's words and thoughts are very well aligned. And I would offer you, as it pertains to Poirier and as it pertains to Al Iaquinta, if those two believe that they can go and mimic what happened with Conor, I think they might be missing the point. I believe the point with Conor was not, hey, beat Cowboy and you get a title shot. I believe the point with Conor was, as soon as you come back, you're welcome to fight for the title. After all, you got 3 of those damn things anyway. Who's going to deny you? Now, I realize the seas don't just part and everybody stands aside. You're going to hear from the boys that are saying, hey, he's been sitting out. He's been at home. He's not been going in here. He's not been doing the heavy lifting, and we deserve the opportunity. I understand all of those things. I'm just sharing with you in my own opinion. We're not in this spot, so I suppose we will never actually know. But I do believe, had that argument come out, had Conor come back and said, I'm going right in for a world title fight, particularly perhaps if it was against Tony, particularly an even easier argument for Conor to become a number 1 contender with having no matches, would have been against Tony. Business-wise, and the demand to see the rematch with he and Khabib. I mean, you get the moving parts here. I just don't believe, and you and I aren't arguing now. I'm adding this to the conversation. I do not believe a precedence was set. I do not believe this was the opening of the divisions. I don't believe parity's changed. You've heard of this champ or champ. You've seen guys that are moving around weight. I will acknowledge that there are some policies within the sport that have changed as of late. I would argue against this being one of them. I do not believe, same as you, if I'm understanding you correctly, I do not believe you can go fight at a 170-pound division and that qualifies you for anything in any other division, aside from being a champion. If you're a champion at 170 and you decide to change weight classes, whether it goes up or down in the era of champ, yes, you largely, historically, get to cut the line. I think you and I are in agreement while shouting at one another.